Time for another Bite with Butch segment. Appropriately named, we're just talking about lunch. I'm hungry, but I know you're also hungry for that 8th win. Yeah. Nice win this week against Western Kentucky. What was your secret stopping that whole offense? That was so dynamic.
Well, it's probably the most complete football game that our team has played. In all 3 phases, we actually had a lot of success. Defensively, creating 3 turnovers was huge. That was a big part of the success. Special teams coming up with the fake field goal was a big play.
Yep.
It was a huge, not only did we score, but it was a momentum changer. And then offensively, I've always talked to our team about the fact that if you can control the line of scrimmage and run the football effectively, we ended up having 122 yards rushing, and we held them to 46 yards rushing. We got 5 sacks defensively, so a lot of things, all 3 phases played a big role in it. And our kids, the energy level, I think senior night appreciation couldn't have been better.
You mentioned those 3 turnovers, could have been more. You had a pick 6 that got called back, but it was such a big dynamic of the game because in your last 3 games, even in that one game you won against Texas San Antonio, you guys have been losing the turnover battle, so you've finally got that fixed. But that's going to be key again this time against UMass, because you've got a quarterback, Austin Ford, who only has a handful of interceptions throughout the entire year.
Well, one of the things, if you look at their record, you're going to say, well, they're very, very unimpressive. They got off to a tough start, but they played some unbelievably talented teams. You figure UMass goes to Knoxville, they play the University of Tennessee early. They've only lost 1 game in their last 5 games, and it was against Mississippi State in Starkville. And obviously Mississippi State's one of the better football teams, and it was close. Both of those games went down into the 4th quarter where they were highly competitive. The biggest change that I've seen statistically looking and watching their film is the fact that early in the year they'd only created 1 turnover. They've got 15 turnovers in the last 5 games. I mean, they're creating turnovers for their offense, and they're throwing the ball extremely well. Quarterback's doing a great job.
Speaking of quarterbacks, your quarterback's doing a pretty good job right now. Alex Magoo, there's one play I got to ask you about. The throw to Darius Scott. He's scrambling around back there. Is that one, as a coach, you're like, no, 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 yes, yes, yes?
Well, after he was scrambling, it was like, get rid of it. Don't take a loss and take us out of the chance of possibly maybe even going for it on 4th down. But one thing that you have to love, of anybody that watches Alex Magoo play, his legs, his ability to extend plays. You hear that term, in the NFL and stuff, but him to buy and avoid rushes, and sometimes if there's a blitz, which there wasn't that time, and he was able to get outside the pocket. And then the best thing about it is these young receivers are starting to understand that when a scramble occurs, uncover yourself. Guys that are short go deep, guys that are deep go sideways, move in the way that he was going. And obviously, Darius Scott got behind both the corner and the safety, and then Alex trusted him enough. He jumped and, came down with it, and what a huge play.
Timed it perfectly.
Timed it perfectly.
Now, you guys, 7 wins, but you guys aren't just winning games and it not being exciting. You guys are playing an exciting brand of football when you guys win. You're looking at a possible 8-win season.
Yeah.
Could you have dreamt of that when you came here last year?
I don't know. We were dreaming, and hopefully, if it's dreams, we were dreaming 13-0.
Right.
But the one thing that we've asked these kids to do from the beginning of the time was play the best that you can. Don't have no regrets on Sunday. We've lost some games that there was some regrets that you say, you know what, we could have played better. We should have done this a little bit better. But for the most part, these kids absolutely every single Saturday they play their heart out. This past Saturday was a great example of that. I mean, they just, from the moment that game started, they tried to create their own electricity. They wanted to energize themselves. The guys on the sidelines were definitely into the game. The focus was outstanding, and certainly the results speak for themselves.
Now, it's such a big year, likely a bowl season, but what do you tell these guys going into this final game? Especially guys like seniors who stuck around and stuck it out.
Yeah, well, one, obviously this is the last game that they'll ever play in this stadium. Right. So you want to leave here with a great positive memories about not only this season, but certainly your entire career. You want to finish the season with momentum, and for all the younger kids, the freshmen, sophomores, the juniors, winning that game last week, winning this next home game, going on the road and winning a bowl game, that's a springboard into 2018. So you want to finish with the best momentum that you possibly can.
Finishing without momentum's obviously big, but also getting that bowl berth, because it not only gets you in the postseason game, but you get more practices.
Yeah.
You can start building for next year. Yeah. In December and January.
Yeah, people don't realize that teams that historically have gone to bowl games every single year, somewhere between 10 and 15 practices before the bowl game is the equivalent of what you get in the springtime. We get 15 days of spring practice. So if you do that over the course of a 3 or 4 year period of time, you're talking about the fact that guys end up having almost either 45 or 60 spring, additional practices for growth, development, experimentation. I can tell you certainly that one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to emphasize a lot of the younger kids, give them like a jump start into spring practice, the possibility even of some positional changes and experimentation. Take a look at this guy and say, you know what, if we move him here, how would he do? And you get a lot of that things that you would have done the first 3 or 4 days of spring practice, we're going to get it done in December. And then the other aspect of it is it lets you know a little bit more about, like, who do we need to sign? Because this guy, do we have enough depth? Do we need more of these?
Someone leaving.
Somebody, and then obviously the kids that are graduating leaving. So this is it's a critical thing for the program.
It's definitely an exciting time, but there's one more regular season game to go. UMass Saturday right here on this beautiful field. Look how nice this place is. Why wouldn't you want to come out here, Coach? As always, thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you very much.